From stories around the world to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A pleasant evening. I'm Dilanjali Ananda.
Good evening, I'm Lakshitendra Singha, and starting off, we take a quick look at the headlines for tonight.
A corona-infected patient identified from Mathura. Close contacts have been directed to quarantine. President emphasizes the need for educational reforms. Pujit Jayasundara claims he was under severe psychological pressure due to the behavior of former President Maithripala Sirisena. The sale of the largest cash prize of 230 million rupees in the lottery history recorded from Senkadagala. Organized criminal figure Ratmalane Roha killed from police shooting. Fertilizer for paddy farmers on free of charge.
For those and other stories in detail, on your top story. One COVID-19 patient was reported today from a hotel in Mathura, which was allocated for quarantine facilities. Accordingly, hotel staff and 75 of their family members have also been directed to quarantine centres. Chief Epidemiologist of the Health Ministry, Specialist Dr. Sudat Samaravira, says that these individuals have been directed to PCR tests. A crew of 15 members aboard a Russian cargo flight arrived into the country recently and was directed to a quarantine centre established in a hotel in Mathura. Health Ministry said that one crew member was tested positive for the novel coronavirus. The patient is undergoing treatments at the Hambantota Hospital. Staff of all quarantine hotels must undergo a mandatory 14-day quarantine period if they opt to leave the premises. Despite it has been revealed that certain staff members had left the quarantine centre to visit their families without undergoing the mandatory quarantine period. Accordingly, 24 staff members have been directed for quarantine at the hotel. Also, the 75 family members of the hotel staff were directed to a quarantine centre in Habaraduwa. Duty manager of the Minister Rajapaksa International Airport, Anura Vimalaratna, said that the 14 remaining crew members have already departed to Shanghai this evening.
Actually, that we have seen that we have given some sort of concession for the diplomats, that because they are representatives of some of the government, or that they are having the diplomatic or that are equal status, those who are coming from those organizations. So we have given them an allowance that they can quarantine at their own residence, provided that they bring a PCR negative test on arrival. So with that, they will go and they will they will do the PCR that according to our schedule, but they should be within their own house, strictly within that house during the quarantine period, and that is first 14 days. The second 14 days also they should be self-quarantined on their own residence. During that time, by case that we allow them to attend to their official duties on a very restricted manner. That we monitor that. But we have seen that some of the diplomats have breached that, and that they have gone to malls and used the pools or something like that. And those that when we noticed that, we have corrected that. So that, and also the Foreign Ministry has informed all the foreign missions that this should not happen in future. So I think that it has been rectified now. But if there is any place that if it is that breaching, and if we are coming to know that we are immediately taking action about that.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa emphasizes the need to reform the country's education system in order to create a citizen who can optimally contribute to the future world, the economy and development. Addressing a meeting held at the Presidential Secretariat, the President said that the universities should not simply be a degree-awarding institution. The President pointed out that the country, the economy as well as the graduates should benefit through this process. The President made these remarks during a discussion held at the Presidential Secretariat today on the future activities of the State Ministry of Education reforms, open universities and distance learning promotion. He urged the education authorities to introduce a new curriculum as soon as possible, giving priority to practical needs. President Rajapaksa stated that the current labour market discrepancies have occurred due to the fact that educational reforms that suit the country have not taken place for many years. A large number of job vacancies in various fields exist in the country as well as internationally. But the education system has not created the manpower needed for the modern world. The President said that in order to make the future generation of the country productive citizens, they must be enriched with new knowledge, skills and abilities. A clear roadmap should be drawn up from preschool to higher education level to ensure that young people should not become lost in the field of education. It can increase the opportunities for technical education and expand the use of technology in the educational process. All institutions related to education were brought under one ministry to achieve this objective. President emphasized that it is every child's right to have an equal opportunity in education irrespective of their ethnic and religious differences, and added that it is the government's responsibility to raise a productive citizen to the country. New reforms should create a background to facilitate access to education for the children who were left behind to reach their expected academic destination without age restrictions. President proposed the practical implementation of a student-centric education system instead of the existing exam-centric education. The immediate obligation of an education system is to facilitate graduation for all the students who are eligible to enter universities and make the job market reach out for graduates instead of them taking to streets demanding for job opportunities were also discussed in length. The university enrollment has been increased from 31,000 to 41,000 in the next year. Open University will enroll an additional 10,000 students to their branches. The plans have been devised to register 10,000 individuals to follow degrees in information technology. It was also discussed to adopt different eligibility criteria unique to each university, which is the practice adopted by developed countries for universities entry. At the meeting, President Rajapaksa advised the officials to expedite the review process of the already drafted national education policy and implement it accordingly. Minister Professor G.L. Peiris, State Minister Susil Premajayantha, Head of the Presidential Task Force for Economic Revival, Mr. Basil Rajapaksa, Secretary to the President P.B. Jayasundara, Secretaries to the Cabinet and State Ministers and Heads of Line Institutes were present at this discussion. The Attorney General has submitted a further claim of 100 million rupees, totalling up to 440 million rupees against the ship owners of the oil tanker MT New Diamond. The Attorney General's Coordination Officer, State Counsel Nisha Rajaratna said that the owners of crude oil tanker have agreed to settle the full interim claim of the government's stakeholders.
Further to the claim made by the Honourable Attorney General to the owners of the crude oil tanker MT New Diamond in respect of the services rendered to the ship with regard to the fire, the owners have confirmed and undertaken to settle the full interim claim of the government stakeholders, which is 340 million rupees. The Attorney General today submitted a further claim for assistance provided to the ship up to date amounting to over 100 million rupees to the owners of the vessel. Therefore, the total claim is 440 million rupees. The Attorney General has also submitted an interim expert report compiled by professors of 5 universities together with experts of NARA and MIPA with regard to the marine pollution. Upon receipt of the final experts report, the damage caused to the marine environment will be estimated and a claim would be forwarded to the owners of the vessel for settlement in due course. The oil tanker MT New Diamond will be given safe passage under the supervision of the Navy in order it may exit from the exclusive economic zone of Sri Lanka.
Recording a statement before the Presidential Commission today, the then IGP Puljit Jayasundara says that he was under severe psychological stress due to the behaviour of former President Maithripala Sirisena prior to the Easter Sunday terror attacks. Revealing before the Commission, the then IGP said that even though the former Director of State Intelligence Service had recorded a statement before the Commission claiming that the State Intelligence Service was deprived of adequate facilities, the Ministry of Defence had allocated a massive sum of unaudited financial provisions for the State Intelligence Service. The then IGP informed the Commission that he possesses more evidence yet to be revealed before the Commission. Former IGP Pujit Jasundar appeared before the Presidential Commission today for the third consecutive day. He said that even though former President Maithripala Sirisena had instructed the police not to carry out open investigations over Islamic extremism, at the latter part of the year 2018, he had instructed the Criminal Investigation Department to conduct investigations on the alleged murder of police officers in Vaunia, inflicting damages to Buddha statues in Mavanella, and the recovery of explosives in Vanathavillua. He said that he was extremely pressurized as he was unable to instruct his officers to carry out necessary investigations due to the instructions directed by the former president. He said that the former president was adamant that his directive on the case against IP Nishantha Silva should be carried out by him. However, he added that the former president denied his instructions directed on Nishantha Silva's case. Then IGP further said that he invited the former president to attend an athletic meet organized by the police, yet the former president denied his invitation and informed him to make necessary arrangements with the then defense secretary. However, he added that the former president denied his previous claims and had accused the then IGP for not inviting him for the event. The then IGP Jasundara said that he was under tremendous pressure due to such instances which had occurred in several occasions during his tenure. Then IGP Jasundara refrained from making any statement in his favor to the media in the aftermath of the Easter Sunday attacks as a disciplined officer and out of respect for the post of executive presidency and the ministerial post in charge of defense, even though the former president and the former defense secretary accused him to be responsible for the tragic incident. He said that for the first time he delivered a statement before the Parliamentary Select Committee after gaining permission in this regard. He further said that he possesses more evidence yet to be revealed before the Commission. He further said that in the aftermath of the deadly attacks in the country, the former president, the chief of the country, claimed that he was unaware in this regard, therefore he was not responsible. Then IGP added that the former president and the former defense secretary should be held responsible for this attack. He claimed that no such tradition existed in the history where the IGP had to relay intelligence reports to the president at any occasion. Dismissing the statements made by the former director of the State Intelligence Service, claiming that the State Intelligence Service was deprived of adequate facilities, then IGP informed the Commission that the State Intelligence Service continuously received full facilities and privileges from the Ministry of Defence. He said that the funds directed to the State Intelligence Service are not being audited, therefore no limit has been set for the funds granted to the State Intelligence Service from the Ministry.
The new Suvisi Vivara chamber of the Sri Devara Mahavihari in Panipitiya was declared open today with the participation of Prime Minister Mahindra Rajapaksa. The Suvisi Vivara chamber was declared open in celebration of the 21st anniversary of the Sri Devara Mahavihari and in parallel to the birthday of Mahanayaka of Sirisumana sector of Amarapura chapter, Most Venerable Dr. Kolonnave Sirisumangala Thera. The Prime Minister invoked religious observances at the temple and thereafter inaugurated the Suvisi Vivarana chamber, including the statue of King Dutugamunu, which was erected in the chamber. Most Venerable Dr. Kolonnave Sirisumangala Thera presented a memento to the Prime Minister during this occasion. Meanwhile, new 1,000 rupee note was presented to the Prime Minister today by Governor of the Central Bank, Professor W.D. Lakshman.
Meanwhile, summons were issued today on former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and Parliamentarian President's Counsel Vijayadasa Rajapaksa to appear before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry on Political Victimization on the 8th of October. The Presidential Commission issued notices while naming all members of the Anti-Corruption Committee as defendants to appear before the Commission. Former Managing Director of Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation, Piyadasa Kudabalage, appeared before the Commission today, in line with a complaint lodged by him with the Commission claiming that a court case was filed against him at the Permanent High Court at Bar with the intention of political revenge over baseless charges of alleged money laundering and misuse of finances on the recommendations of the Anti-Corruption Committee. Recording a statement before the Commission, he mentioned that former Prime Minister established the Anti-Corruption Committee through a cabinet communique, though the former Premier had initiated a Secretariat for Anti-Corruption Committee. It was revealed that the same office had been used under various names different to each other. The Commission then said that the Cabinet approval has been obtained for one officer, yet steps have been taken to initiate a separate office. The complainant has stated that the financial provisions to bear the expenses of the Anti-Corruption Committee office was proposed to be handed by the Presidential Secretariat, and a sum of 7.5 million rupees had been allocated in this regard. It was revealed that the salaries of the then government legal advisor, senior attorney at law and additional solicitor general of the Attorney General's Department, Thusit Mudalige, had been paid through the budget of the Prime Minister's Secretariat. It was further revealed that according to a letter sent by Director and Secretary of the Anti-Corruption Committee, Ananda Vijaypala, to the Prime Minister's Secretariat on October 29, 2015, 50% of the basic salary along with other allowances had been paid for Thusit Mudalige for a period of several months. The lawyer appearing on behalf of the complainant presented the document related to the granting of approval for the payment of salaries for Thusit Mudalige to the Commission. Also, the Commission of Judicial Services had granted approval to Thusit Mudalige to engage in duties of the Anti-Corruption Committee following the official duty period at the Attorney General's Department. Chairman of the Commission, former Supreme Court Judge Upali Aberatna, said that both money laundering and misuse of finances are two different charges, and to file a court case under both the charges at once indicate that this has been carried out with a vile intent. Considering the submissions, the Commission issued summons on the chairman of the Anti-Corruption Committee, former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, and Parliamentarian President's Counsel Vijayadasa Rajapaksa to appear before the Commission on the 8th of October. Meanwhile, notices were issued on the members of the Anti-Corruption Committee, former ministers Mangala Samaravira, Champika Ranavaka, Sarath Fonseca, Rauf Hakim, parliamentarians R. Sambandhan, M.A. Sumandiran, Anura Kumar Disanayaka, and President's Councils Jayampati Wickramaratne and J.C. Valyamuna, and the Secretary of the Committee Ananda Vijaypala to appear before the Commission.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa advised the officials to divert both institutional and independent innovation to the production market immediately with the assistance of investors. President made these remarks during a discussion with the State Ministry of Finance and Capital Markets and Public Enterprise Reforms with regard to its future activities at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday. Researches by a number of institutes had led to groundbreaking innovations that could eventually triumph the global market. President stated that the production of these would earn foreign exchange income for the Sri Lankan economy, and in addition, the investors would be further inspired in their innovations. State Minister Ajith Niwad Kabral noted that it has been observed that the interest rate, currency and market stability now remain at a satisfactory state, and added that his ministry is enthusiastically striving to identify 10 new priorities in order to pave the way for a swift development in the economy. When compared with the rest of the world, Sri Lanka has a favourable and appealing economy for foreign investors. President added that with the assistance of Sri Lanka's ambassadors abroad and a proper advertisement program, the state should devise plans to attract foreign investors to the country. President highlighted the requirement of identifying investment opportunities and improving infrastructure facilities along with necessary prior approval accordingly. It was also discussed to establish an office for pioneering foreign investors in the heart of Colombo. President noted the significance of state institutes reaching out to village areas and bank loan accessibility for small-scale and medium-scale entrepreneurs that would ensure rapid development in the country. President directed the officials to inquire into the feasibility of lowering prices for cement and steel in order to decrease construction costs in the country. Prime Minister Mahindra Rajapaksa stated that it is imperative to recover the backgrounds suitable for development that existed before 2015. He added that fragmentation of the lands used for coconut plantations should be banned immediately. 289 large-scale projects have been launched in the country. Head of the Presidential Task Force for Economic Revival, Basil Rajapaksa, advised them to be completed immediately and added that the conclusion of planned development projects such as roads, water supply projects and school infrastructure facilities and other planned projects would boost the construction sector. President showed the importance of planning the transactions of the share markets so as to attract young and other local investors. President added that singular language should be used for simplicity and clarity, and it would easily attract the local investors into the share market. President advised the officials to take steps to compensate the investors who had invested in bankrupt finance companies. The President further instructed them to ascertain the assets of these finance companies and compensate depositors accordingly. Secretary to the President P.B. Jayasundara, secretaries to the Cabinet and State Ministries, head of the line institutes were present at this discussion.
Meanwhile, organised criminal identified as Devamuni Herald Rohana de Silva alias Ratmalane Roha was shot dead by the police today morning. Police say that the suspect had made plans to flee to India using a trawler boat from Kammaltota Kochekade in Negombo. The suspect had shot at the police while they carried out a search operation in a beach in Kochekade. The suspect had severely injured by the shooting and had died while being transported to the hospital. During a subsequent search, a T-56 weapon, a pistol and 300,000 Indian rupees were recovered. Police said that the suspect was involved in various crimes including drug trafficking and murder. Police further said that the suspect was held accountable for the incident of murdering a police officer and causing harm for two others in Kurunegala on the 15th of November 2016 and the incident of murdering an individual in Mount Lavinia in 2014. It was revealed that the suspect had cases filed against him in several courts as well.
Head of Presidential Task Force for Economic Revival and Poverty Eradication, Basil Rajapaksa says that all preparations have been made to distribute medical equipment produced locally and within international standards for domestic and international markets. He made these remarks during a meeting held at the Temple Trees yesterday. The meeting was held with the officials of the Technomedics Flexicare investment company to review on the progress of the medical consumer equipment product factory established in Pandaragama under the Made in Sri Lanka project. General Manager of the Technomedics Flexicare company, Sanjeeva Jayasinghe, mentioned that an investment of over $15 million from United Kingdom has been directed for the factory. The factory has been well equipped to begin the production operations. The exportation of the first container said to be carried out within a period of 1 month. Citing that the government had extended a massive support in swiftly establishing the factory, the general manager of the company said that all produced medical equipment will be distributed to the maker under the brand Made in Sri Lanka. According to the company, 95% of the medical equipment produced at the factory is expected to be exported, while remaining 5% will be utilized to fulfill the domestic requirement. Public representatives and government officials were present at this occasion.
Creating a record in the history of Sri Lanka lotteries, a winner to the tune of 236 million rupees was found yesterday for the Mega Power Lottery. The winning ticket was sold by a lottery agent in Senkadagala area. Mega Power Lottery was introduced by the National Lotteries Board. The prize money was gradually increased upon the initiation of the lottery and came up to over 236 million. The prize for the 621st lottery draw was claimed yesterday by the respective winner.
වෙනි මෙගා පවදිනු මැදිමේ වාරය තුලින් රුපියල් 23 කෝටි 62 ලක්ෂ 20278යි 735ක ඒ අති දැවැන්ත සුපිරිතයක් අද දවසේ ඔබ දිනාගෙන තියෙනවා කියලා අපි කියන්නේ ඉමහත් සතුටි. කටුගස්තොට එනවි අලවි නියෝජිත ආර්.ඒ. අජිත් රණසිංහ මහතා තමයි මේ වාසනාවන්තයව අද දවසේ බිහි
The Gramacharika program, in which President Gotabaya Rajapaksa expected to go among the people and provide swift solutions to their grievances at the grassroots level, set to commence tomorrow. The program will commence at the Haldumulle Divisional Secretariat Division in Badula district. Only 16 students receive education at the Kumaratana Vidyalaya, situated in a 100-acre land in the Haldumulle Divisional Secretariat Division in Badula district. Their request to the President is to provide necessary facilities to continue their academic activities without any hindrances. Students and their parents have said that the school is a less privileged school which is deprived of academic staff and necessary sporting equipment. Also, they requested the President to build the roads in the village and provide them with electricity. Meanwhile, they also shared their fear on the permanent closure of the school. They commended the president's decision to visit them to provide swift solutions to their grievances. A total of 222 families are residing in 2 Gram Seva divisions in the Haldumulle Divisional Secretariat Division. The villagers have claimed that no president had ever visited such economically backward village in the past.
Many development projects have been initiated in the country after prioritizing the protection of the people as well as the environment. The feature today is on another attractive place built in this regard. Narola Wetland Park is established in a land which is stretched for 1 acre. The park ensures the relaxation of the minds of people upon gazing at the mesmerizing nature of the park. More than 60 species of wetland plants can be seen in the park, while a large number of species of birds endemic to wetlands can be seen in this setting. Various types of flowering plants can also be seen at this stunning ecosystem. The park consists of granite bunds which provide a uniqueness to the eyes of the visitors. A 1.4 kilometer long white sand-laid walking path has also been constructed in the park. This fascinating project was constructed and finalized in 2013 in accordance to a concept of the then Defence Secretary, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Meanwhile, after a lapse of 28 years, the Export Development Council was convened under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahindra Rajapaksa. The President stated that the scope of the Council include the development of exports by both public and private sectors and to accelerate the building of people-centric economy through winning the global market. The Export Development Council was set up under Export Development Act in 1979 with the objective to resolve prevailing issues in the export sector by strengthening exporters. The Council is entrusted with the responsibility of policy formulation and issue approvals and recommendations. Activating the Export Development Council, the first meeting was held at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday. According to the Act, the President is the chairman of the Council. It was agreed to convene the Council once a month to review future activities and to resolve current issues in the sector. Emphasizing the responsibility delegated to the Export Development Council to seek new market opportunities for exporters, President elaborated on the necessity of diversifying the export sector to cater to different demands of different countries. Most of the trade agreements signed in the past are not favorable to the country. President highlighted the need to review these agreements immediately to bring more benefits to the country. He also pointed out the requirement of revising and modernizing the national trade policy expeditiously to address the issues in the export sector and to ensure its progress. The establishment of export production villages in order to promote primary products of farmers in line with export market requirements was also discussed. Import of raw materials required for value-added products should meet the highest standard under strict supervision. President said he had personally instructed High Commissioners and ambassadors to vigorously promote domestic products in the global market and to attract more investors. He said the targets will be set for everyone to achieve in the future and pointed out the need to improve the efficiency of trade promotion officers in foreign missions. Head of the Presidential Task Force on Economic Revival, Basil Rajapaksa, said that unnecessary rules and regulations that discourage exporters should be removed. Ministers Dinesh Gunawardena, Bandula Gunawardena, Douglas Devananda, Wimal Weerawansa, Mahindananda Alutgamage, Ramesh Patirana and Rohitabe Gunawardena, State Ministers Dayasiri Jayasekara and Prasanna Ranavira, Secretary to the President P.B. Jayasundara, Secretaries to Cabinet and State Ministries and heads of several government institutes were present during the discussion. The government has decided to provide fertilizer on free of charge for the paddy cultivation for the upcoming Maha season. Fertilizer for other cultivations will be extended at a price rate of 1,500 rupees. Minister of Agriculture Mahindananda Alutgamage made these remarks at the Parliament while responding to a query raised by the opposition. Meanwhile, the adjournment debate on the performance report of the Commission of Finance was held at the Parliament today. Speaker of the House Mahinda Yapabewardene informed the Parliament that in accordance to Article 121 subsection 1 of the Constitution, a copy of the petition filed with the Supreme Court over the draft bill of 20th Amendment to the Constitution has been handed over to him. Minister Mahindra Rajapaksa said that the agri production in the country recorded a growth during the recent COVID-19 outbreak. Accordingly, he said that the agriculture in the country was required of an additional quantity of fertilizer than in the past. The minister said that the set limit on fertilizer was removed after tabling a cabinet paper 2 weeks before. Accordingly, he added that an amount of 250,000 metric tons of fertilizer was imported into the country.
Today marks the 7th consecutive day of the Colombo International Book Fair 2020, organised by the Book Publishers Association for the 22nd time. Book lovers around the country are gathering up for this momentous event.
We are here at the BMICH and this is the 7th day of the Colombo International Book Fair. As you all know, this is the most anticipated event of the Sri Lankan book lovers and this is the largest book exhibition here in Sri Lanka. Due to the ongoing coronavirus outbreak, the organisers have implemented strict safety measures. So, when you enter the book fair premises, keep in mind to wear a face mask properly. Wash your hands using the hand wash provided, sanitize your hands frequently and maintain 1 meter social distancing as much as possible. Make the Colombo International Book Fair a place free from COVID-19. The Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation is the official electronic media partner for the book fair as well. So come here, grab a book. This will be open till the 27th of this month and the doors will be open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and quench the thirst of knowledge.
That's all the stories we have for you tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.
Good night.